Hey, what's up, y'all? I recently saw this article last week and I wanted to make another video, but I decided to mash them together because they kind of coincide and they're both basically talking about the same thing. Now, the thing that I wanted to make a video about was I bought 5 games during Black Friday, and of the 5 games, I was only able to play 2 off the disc. The other 3, I had to have a download, I had to get a mandatory download to play anything. One of them they gave me like I had to have a mandatory download just to play like the training mode or like the tutorial. It was crazy, and this is a disc based game, and it just shows us now that this is the future essentially. That what I experienced with Call of Duty, the disc is a lie. That's the future of gaming, sadly, because the companies are all about nickel and diming. The consumer. They're very anti-consumer in practice. If they can make games like this, if they can print up licenses on disk and save themselves electricity and time from actually having to write the files to the disk, then they're going to do that. And I feel like it's on us as the consumer to call them out and to not buy these games. And I mean, on top of that too, we also need to call out anti-consumer practices on digital titles, like what Microsoft did here with Forza. I feel like they should have just honored the pricing era instead of taking the game back a week later. That if I feel like it becomes to a point to where it's a bit intrusive. And it's like I don't mind the fact they took it back. I understand it was a pricing error. It's just they should have done that within the first 2 to 3 days. To wait an entire week, that's where it kind of just becomes a problem. And I mean, honestly, I feel like they should have just let it go. I know PlayStation has honored accidental free downloads, not all of them, but some of them. I remember during the PlayStation 3 and early PlayStation 4, there was a couple of things that were like accidentally free. Sony didn't make too much of a fuss. They let people who grabbed it have it. I mean, I know the whole PT thing with them removing PT off of the PlayStation Store. I can't remember if they took it off of PlayStation or not. Anyway, my point being is we're kind of moving forward into the future, and we don't really have the rights that we used to have in the past. In the past, when you had a game, you had a game. Even then, like in the past, like perfect example on the PlayStation 3, when you downloaded something, you basically had it. I still have demos that aren't up. I still have betas. Like I still remember when the Resistance 2 beta came out. It still worked. They didn't. Shouts out to Insomniac, one of my favorite developers. The beta still worked. It was still functioning. I would have kept it forever had I not bought the game. But it was things like that. It was kind of just like a different place we were in as far as consumers in the past. Like now heading towards the future, it's so anti-consumer. Like everything is about profit, and it's profit for the corporation, it's profit for the company, and there's not much for us. We're not really getting the same quality of games that we used to get in the past. We don't even like the fact that I'm even asking this question. I'm making a video about owning games that we've spent money on. And it doesn't matter if it's digital, it doesn't matter if it's physical. We should own these games outright. We should have some type of security, especially too for an existing company that's planning to be around in the future. Why can't I have, some type of security blanket for my purchases to where I know that I'm going to be able to download this in the future. I'm going to be able to play this in the future, regardless if it's on a disc, regardless if it's digital. I don't know. It's just like a really uncertain, scary time to be a gamer. And I mean, like, I don't know. It kind of makes me want to back out a little bit and like not be as invested. As I've been gaming for a super long time. Um, I think my first console was a Sega Genesis, and I'll admit like I play Sega games, but usually they're emulated because my Genesis is down. I need to get a new one. I've been trying to get one of those the newer Genesis, but none of them play the old cartridges, so I kind of just have been dodging those. But my point being is, I want to be able to play my games in the future. I want my children to be able to play my games in the future. On top of that, too, I like dipping back. Sometimes I play PlayStation 2 games. Like I remember, like one time I had a LAN party. We just played PS2 games the whole time. It happens. I mean, like I want to be able to play these games in the future. I don't want to have this level of uncertainty to where I don't know if, the servers are still going to be up. I don't know if, something's going to happen to where they get delisted from the store, the entire storefront, and I can no longer download them. It's just a lot of uncertainty now surrounding this internet era of gaming to where you don't know what'll happen in the future. You don't know if you're going to have the game that you spent your hard-earned money on available to you.